Invention, a flying machine lighter than air, and cotton fields in different colors.
If you can grow the color, why ever dye that color? Dye colors you can't grow.
These and more stories next on Invention. Welcome to the Smithsonian's National Museum of American History. I'm Lucky Severson. You know those natural cotton jeans we all love to wear? Well, most of the cotton is grown with pesticides and most of the dyes are chemical as well. Now there is an alternative, an organically grown cotton that comes naturally in different colors.
I wish I were in the land of cotton. All times there, not forgotten. Look away, look away, look away, Dixieland.
These are cotton fields, but this is not Dixie. This is Arizona. And as you may notice, the cotton fields are not white. They're green and brown. Colored cotton has been growing in South America for centuries, but until now its fibers have always been too short to be commercially viable. But that was before Sally Fox came along.
In the beginning, this was the big joke. Why would anyone want colored cotton? You can dye it any color you want. The cotton's too short. You can't machine spin it. Nobody wants to grow it. So these were all these myths that I had to get past.
Sally Fox was an entomologist working for a cotton breeder when she caught her first glimpse of colored cotton.
I just looked at this and said, wow, what's going on here? Why isn't anyone improving this fiber so it could be more easily spun? And he said, well, there's no market for it. And I said, well, why isn't anyone making a market for it? And he handed me this sack of seeds and said, well, why don't you do it?
10 years later, Sally has done it. Her company, Fox Fibre, produces colored cotton in shades of brown and green, and she's found a market for her product. She lives and works on her Arizona farm with 3 border collies, Eli, Whitney, and Electra. Sally has always had cotton in her blood.
I started spinning when I was 12 years old. Then it was really difficult to find anything to spin, so we had Samoyed dogs and I'd brush their hair and spin. And I kind of look back with surprise. In high school, I'd be standing in the back of the class spinning instead of taking notes.
Sally Fox developed her colored cotton strains by the trial and error technique of cross-pollinating and selection, a practice she continues today as she searches for stronger plants and new colors.
This is the female part of the flower right there. That's the stigma. And we've taken the pollen off of this flower last night. Now I'm bringing pollen from a different plant. You can see it's a completely different flower, and putting that pollen right on the stigma. Now, the seeds that develop in this cotton boll, this one boll right here, will be hybrid seeds, and they're the beginning of a lot of potential new variability.
She records and studies her thousands of experimental plants with a very detailed filing system.
These cards we developed over a few years, many years, of working with this cotton as a way to keep track of our different plants that are selected.
It takes years of crossbreeding to come up with a colored cotton plant strong enough to withstand machine spinning and processing, not to mention the skeptics. But the product is worth the pain. Colored cotton has a lot going for it. It's environmentally friendly. There are no toxins or waste products created by dyeing.
Yes, you can dye things any color you want, but every time you're dyeing something, you're bleaching the fiber first and then you're dyeing it. And no matter how many improvements you can make, you know, regardless of the scope of the improvements in efficiency of dyeing, if you can grow the color, why ever dye that color? Dye colors you can't grow.
Because colored cotton is more pest resistant than white cotton, it can be grown without chemical pesticides.
The cotton plants that produce this cotton of color are more vigorous than regular cotton. They're from wilder origins. They haven't been domesticated and put through breeding programs where people are using pesticides.
Feel like we'll harvest a nice quality cotton, and feel like the color will be good.
Bob Taylor is a farmer who is now growing cotton for Sally Fox.
She's been the most innovative person in the textile business in a number of years, and we're finding that by this, with growing her colored cotton for her, that we've helped not use so many dyes and have so many pollutants in the world. After having farmed conventionally for 32 years, it was quite a change to go into organic farming.
Bob, what do you think you'll do for defoliation out here? Do you think it'll defoliate?
Oh yeah, it will. There'll be no problem with it. It'll probably just
Naturally defoliate with the weather?
Wally Hoffman, Sally's resident agronomist and head of production.
It'll start to grind.
Lincoln Ranch, this is 100% organic out here. I think the most exciting thing that I'm seeing is how these growers, many of whom had never even thought about growing organic cotton before Sally's cotton came along, they're getting excited about it. They're seeing it work. They're seeing it work better than the conventional in many cases.
Unlike dyed cotton, which fades with washing, colored cotton actually deepens in color.
I'm going to show you some examples of some denim. This fabric here, the bottom one, is the same as the top one. The only difference is the bottom one has not been washed. Then we had it put in a treatment that brings it to its final color, what it will be after about 50 washes. And that's this. So the green really intensifies.
She produces 4 colors, which are actually variations of green and brown. And she is convinced and absolutely determined that colored cotton has a promising future.
Colored cotton is a value-added cotton. I like to think of it in terms of value-added. A lot of guys are going broke today growing white cotton. If it weren't for a lot of government subsidies and that sort of thing, a lot of people would be out of business. Colored cotton allows growers to make a decent profit and stay in business.
For someone who always dreamed of things cotton, Sally Fox is as happy as a bug in a cotton rug.
This cotton brought together the 2 parts of my life, the professional part and the personal part involving my love of textiles and the design of yarn and fabric from the fiber up. So I was very happy to see this happen. It was wonderful.
So the next time you're in the Southwest, take a drive through the cotton fields. Wouldn't it be nice to see blue cotton, or maybe even a rainbow?